Hey everybody, it's me, Eddie, with my blog on God and real estate. And today I'm going to be talking about greed prevention. How to prevent greed as it pertains to business and real estate. Okay, this is from John chapter 12, verse 15, and it says, "Then he said to them, beware and be on your guard against every form of greed." This is Jesus speaking. "For not even when one has an abundance does his life consist of his possessions." That should get your attention as far as greed goes. And then Colossians 3:5 says, "Therefore consider the members of your earthly body as dead to immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, and greed, which amounts to idolatry." So when we're greedy, we're putting money and things above God, above the will of God. We're becoming selfish and self-centered, and that is idolatrous, according to the Bible. "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." We're making money and things an idol. So I'm going to tell a quick story about a greedy Christian and what kind of happened. I grew up in Orange County. I'm in San Diego now, but there's a beautiful community in Orange County called Laguna Beach. And this Christian family had 5 siblings, and they were all set to inherit this huge amount of land. Okay, there were a bunch of different properties, but this one piece of land in particular had all these rentals overlooking the ocean. Today, this property must be worth $150 million because it had commercial property along with, these residential rentals. And so one of the brothers of the 5, Christian family, everybody going to church, grew up in church, going to church, finagled the father into giving him all the land. So all of a sudden he's receiving all the rental income, and he's set to inherit all the land. How he pulled this off, nobody could figure it out. Okay, and so the other siblings wound up putting one of the brothers through law school just so they could attack and come against this situation. But in the end, the greedy brother, wound up dying of cancer. He got cancer all of a sudden, and he died. And so, I don't know if it was related. It could have been related to that. I don't know. But either way, it's kind of a scary situation. The greed factor definitely caused a lot of pain and disunity in the whole family. And if he was just focused on being fair, everybody could have came out ahead because there was so much to go around, right? So anyway, I want to explore some situations that I've seen in real estate where people get greedy. And if you're a Christian, you want to steer clear of greed. So this is important stuff. Okay, so one of the situations that you see a lot of times is where somebody prices a property for way too much, more than the appraisal will stay and more than the market can bear. Nobody's putting in offers, and yet somebody will be resistant to lowering the price, and the realtor's putting all kinds of money into marketing and everything else, and yet because somebody is greedy, right, unrealistic and greedy, they're causing a lot of challenges for everybody involved. And if they would just lower the price, somebody could be enjoying the property and the realtor can move on to the next deal or whatever. So that's an example of greed pricing something too much. Another way, a lot of times you see people get greedy nowadays is when they get the list of repairs and the people are just unreasonable. The buyers are unreasonable about what they want. They want a complete remodel with a jacuzzi. And the poor realtor has to keep the deal together, try to keep the deal together, and as they're trying to make excuses for their greedy client or whatever. But if you're a Christian pulling that kind of stuff, it's not cool. Yeah, you don't want people to walk over you, but you don't want to be greedy. No. Another example you see a lot of times as it pertains to real estate is when a landlord will all of a sudden jack the rent on a tenant. And that's, they justify it in some way, but that's greedy. Or they're not willing to cover a maintenance cost, that's not being fair, and that's not being reasonable. That's a lot of times that's being greedy. Okay, so those are just some examples. But what is the end goal for the Christian in business, right? I'm going to look at this scripture right now. It's Matthew 5:16. And what does it say? It says, "Let your light so shine before men in such a way that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." I just want to say that people are getting greedier. They're getting more selfish, right? And you see it in business and every aspect of our society. But when you're fair and you're generous, it's like the darkness just makes the light all the more brighter, right? So when you're fair and you have integrity, you're working hard, you're concerned, it's obvious you're concerned about other people's interests and not just your interests, and you're not greedy. People will respect you, and it'll open doors. Yeah, some people will try to walk on you and take advantage of you, but because we're living in a fallen world, and that happens. But there are other people where they'll want to hear your story. So let people know you're a Christian early on in a transaction. Let people know that you're a Christian, and then demonstrate what a Christian looks like. Being Christ-like, being selfless, being loving, being not greedy, not being greedy. Okay. So anyway, that's my quick blog, and thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon.